I am from Houston, Texas. I moved to Abilene, Texas for 21 years, where I met my wife, who is from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. My family and I, we immigrated 11 years ago, straight to Fort Qu'appelle. Fort Qu'appelle is a very nurturing spot, inspirational for my music and for my art. It feeds that. And in this time of year, in the warm months, I can just jump on my bike and take off for 30 minutes or an hour, go up in the hills, just see the scenery and come back, and I'm good to go. Music is the art form I've been associated with the longest. I had an interest in music very early on as a child, but I came from a very unmusical household and family. In high school, I picked up bass guitar when we're listening to radio music and rock music and forming bands with my buddies, and great memories doing that. I still love it. I love the energy and the volume. And so I'd always had my eye on this Chapman stick thing because a lot of bass players play it. And I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a 10-string bass. Like, tell me about this. And this is back in the late 80s. There was no internet. You couldn't look up information. And so I must have visited all 29 music stores in Houston asking about it. Only one of those music stores even knew what I was asking about. And they're like, oh yeah, that's the Chapman stick. You have to buy that from the man who makes it. That's out in California. And I thought, well, never gonna see this, so okay. And so maybe a year or two later, I saw an ad in a bass playing magazine for that instrument, and it had the picture of the stick. That's kind of what started, me finding out about it and eventually getting one. I've been playing it since 1996. I call it a counterpoint instrument. Counterpoint is a fancy musical term for two or more lines of music going on at the same time, much like a piano, where with your left hand you may have a bass line or a chord, and your right hand you may have a melody or a chord or whatever. It's the same thing. Instead of on keys, it's on the top of strings. So therefore you have the expression of a guitar or a fretted stringed instrument with two hands or two lines of music at the same time. And so there's numerous possibilities. When I first started playing it, it was just a new means of exploring bass lines. But I don't even play bass guitar anymore. Stick has just become my thing. It's become the instrument I think with. But I've just had, especially in the early days, I just had this wealth of songs that came to me. And they were all the songs that I would just noodle around on, learning how to play the instrument, that evolved into a start and finish piece of music. And I've since moved on to other stuff and trying out electric effects and looping, and it's great. And I love performing and playing with other people and being part of an ensemble or band, but I can also do a lot of solo work. The woodcraft just was an accident from taking a break from the renovation world to record my second album, because my first album was years ago in the 90s. And so it had been 17 years, and I thought, if I don't get this new music out, it's never gonna happen. So I took a break from that and was working on this album, and I had a lot of downtime, and I just started goofing around in my shop in the afternoons, and I'd always wanted to work with hardwood. I never had. Just trial and error, asking questions, looking up YouTube videos, but not a whole lot of them. Just decided, I'll just make a box or something. Gave it to my wife as a gift and made a couple more, and then I started showing friends on Facebook, and people started wanting stuff. I wasn't expecting that. It's just developed, and then it's taken them to markets and just seeing people's face and expression. We all just love small containers for some reason. I don't know why. It could just be the special memories you have growing up. It could be just the odds and ends you keep near your bedside or on your desk. It could be a stack of business cards, whatever. It can be a gift itself, or it can be a container for a real gift for someone else. The mosaics on the top evolved from really simple designs all going one direction. I call it vertical, the way I look. And then maybe after a year, I started adding horizontals to those verticals. And it was awkward at first, but then I found quicker, easier ways to do it. And about a year or two ago, I've evolved into how can I work in, just organic waves, because something that a table saw wouldn't allow. So the medium just happened to be what I had. It wasn't that I just love wood, although I do love wood. I think, you don't have to convince somebody that wood is beautiful. They just see it, and it is. I don't have to convince anybody of that. I just have to display it and present it in such a way. Every time I make a mosaic top of these boxes, it's very much inspired by like jazz and improvisatory music I listen to. I generally have a framework and an idea, but I really don't know what it's going to be like in the end. I start in the middle and then just kind of work my way out and add to it and cut and try to balance it along the way, and so far so good. Deeply, I believe that all of us are creators. It doesn't mean that you necessarily have to paint or do an art piece, but it can be how you assemble a meal you're going to eat. It can be how you arrange your living room this month. I don't know, it can be anything. Just the subject of creativity, and often I was stuck in an area, whether it be a job, that I wasn't allowed to do things. And thankfully my wife is allowing me to pursue this art, and so I'm kind of pursuing this while keeping the house together, which is been a nice trade-off, and I'm enjoying it. But I haven't always been able to do this, and we're all in paths like that. Sometimes you just got to pay the bills, and you got to do what it takes to do that. And I know that not everybody gets to live that kind of life, but I'm thankful that I get to create things in my life right now and do it full time. There's something healthy about a thankful life, and I believe that, and so I've tried to pursue that as well.
Are you an artist who's interested in appearing on maxTV Local? Email us at max.local@sastel.com.